Okay, we're starting here on project 19. I'm just going to go ahead and right click on that, open link in new tab, and I'll mention a couple of things from the reading. Okay, right here, you should have done the reading. And most of it's pretty straightforward. A loan, an extension of money from one party, in that case, one person or organization, that's what they mean by party, to another. We're going to be paid back with interest. The purchase price, the amount that something costs that you agree to pay when buying it, the amount that you borrow to buy was the principal. Not always the same. And we'll do that today. Loan term, the amount of time it takes to pay it back. Interest, we've talked about interest before. Interest is the money paid to borrow money. And fundamentally, that's the same as I've got there. Okay, amortization schedule. I think it helps if you get a little bit more of an idea as to what this word amortization here means. In particular, mort. You've probably heard the words mortuary, mortician. Maybe you've even heard mortality, mortal. All of those words contain to die. Okay, mort. Now, where does that apply? The amortization schedule is going to tell us where the loan dies, where we no longer need to maintain or service the loan. Okay, so that's what we're looking at in this assignment. Okay, now you'll notice that I gave you some stuff over here. This is what I expect you to key in for this data. So you'll notice I didn't key anything in on this one. Frankly, there isn't a whole lot to do to type in, and you kind of need to do a little bit of it. So, and that's one of the things I'll just tell you, that's sort of listed as one of our objectives. You have to key it, input the information. And so I've been giving you a lot of stuff lately, a lot of the data lately. This one, I'm going to want you to key it all in. So, and I'm going to show you what I actually want keyed in. So when you come down here to page number, page 83, 84. Okay, you're looking at this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that full screen again. I only want you to type the word January. You don't need to type the rest of these. You don't need to type all of these numbers. I don't want you typing these numbers in because, frankly, they're wrong. I'm going to show you a way that is both faster. It may not feel faster today because it's the first time you've done it, but after you do it a little bit, it is faster and it is significantly easier. And more importantly, it's more accurate. They actually have a mistake in their table, and we'll get to that in just a little while. Okay, so the first place that I have you going here on this assignment, and I'm coming over here to project 19, is this one here called, oops, no, what did that just do? No, I don't want that. Go away. Great. Okay, good. Okay, clear. Okay, now long-term, come on, clear. Long-term, it'll be just a moment. Okay, there we go. I just clicked on the wrong button. I think you all saw that. Okay, long-term car loan. Now, I'm going to purposely put some odd stuff, blank cells in here, because I want to make sure you see how something works. Okay, we have a whole lot of errors. The reason we can put in a formula and not have the data to support it. And what will happen is it'll result in an error. And I don't expect you to be making these formulas. I just want you to see it. So what we're looking at here, and I want to make some things clear, is the effect of the loan period on the loan. So let's say we're making a car loan and it's $30,000. Enter. Now, 84-month loans have for some reason become popular. I got no clue why. We're going to go with 80 though. Okay. And interest rate, enter. That'll probably be like 4.5% for that long a loan. And you're going to see that over the period of a loan, this person paid $4,780 on top of the $30,000 they actually bought or purchased it, or they actually have to pay back. So the total amount they have to pay back is $34,000. Now, if they were to take that same purchase and make that into, say, a 48-month loan, 48, enter. Notice what happened. They knocked almost $2,000 off what they're going to have to pay for this car. Yeah, their payments are going to be higher. I'm not going to deny that. But this is why you're better off borrowing for shorter periods of time, is because very simply, the longer of a payment period, the more you're going to pay. And it has to do with the way the interest accrues or adds up. So with that being said, just want to make sure you were clear on what's going on here. We're going to go to today's assignment. If you're wondering what I'm looking for the tab that says video. There it is. Okay. So let's go ahead and type in that information. I'm going to start by typing in just what I expect you to have put in, okay? Okay, this is what I expect you to have keyed in when we start, okay? Oops, interest rate in months. Did we get that in there? Nope, 9%. 9%. Okay, oops, it is in there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the width of column A so I can see that I spelled something wrong. M-O-N-T-H. Good. Okay, a little bit more width. Not sure what happened here. 9%. Good. Okay. Now, that's all you need. Now, with January, make sure you spelled it right. It's going to be really easy. You saw I clicked on January. I'm going to go to the autofill button right here on the corner, press and hold, and I'm going to pull that down to row number 19. Okay. And that's just going to put the rest of the months in there for me. And so that makes it a bit easier. Okay, the payment isn't going to change much. There will be one error that they make that we'll have to correct when we're done, but that'll be easy and obvious. So I'm just going to come over here to the payment, go to the autofill button, and drag that down to December. Now, Excel will behave differently if you fill down a number like that. Just be aware of that, right? But at Google Sheets, that works just the way we expect it to. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is start working with the formulas. And the first thing we need to do is calculate the interest in the first payment period. The second and all the others will be different, but the first one's the only one that's actually unique. Okay, so I'm going to click here on cell D8. You can see that I'm delta 8. Okay, all functions and formulas start with an equal sign. Good. Now, ignore that auto suggest. That's wrong. Okay, so what we want to do here is take the loan amount, B3, and you saw what I did was I just clicked on the cell. I'm going to be doing that a lot in this one. You're going to see me clicking on that a lot in this one. Times is the asterisk, and that is a shifted 8 on your keyboard or above the number 9 on the number pad. Open parenthesis. The interest rate over, and when I say over, I mean that little slash. It's with the question mark on your keyboard, and it's above the 8 on your number pad. 12. Close parenthesis. Now, the reason we did this 12 has nothing to do with this 12 here. What this 12 has to do with is the fact that this is the interest rate per year. Typo. Per year. Okay. This is when we give interest rates, we give them annually, the interest rate per year. But the billing, the period here was 1 month. So it's going to be that the interest rate over 12 because there are 12 months. Okay. Just to let you know why we chose to do that. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is ask how much of this payment did we pay towards the principal, the amount of money we actually borrowed. Okay. And that's going to be pretty easy. We're going to click here in C8 equals the payment minus the interest rate. Or not the interest rate, sorry, the interest paid. I'm tempted to restart this one, but I don't think I will. I think it's still clear what I'm doing. Okay, so we paid $399.76 towards the amount that we borrowed. The other $37.50 was what we paid for borrowing the money, okay? And that all came out of our payment here. Now, our balance, the amount at the end of this payment that we now owe is going to be the amount we borrowed, the principal, minus the principal payment. Enter. So there we have the numbers there for the amount of interest we paid in the first month, the amount of principal we paid down, and after we made that payment, how much do we owe is right there. Now, this number here is going to stay or this formula is going to stay the same throughout our entire spreadsheet. So we're going to go ahead and just fill that formula down. You're going to say, excuse me, that looks wrong. It's not. The reason is we're subtracting this number from an empty cell right now, okay? That's what's going on at the moment. And that's why that looks wrong. And as we fill in our spreadsheet, it will get fixed. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is figure out the interest we're going to pay on the second month's loan, or a second month's check. So equals all formulas and functions, the second payment period. This is the money we now owe. So that's where we start, okay, times, shift 8, times, open parenthesis, the interest rate over 12, and stop there for a second. We're not quite done. What we need to do is we need to go between the B and the 5 right here, and we need to put in a dollar sign. Now, I'll tell you what that dollar sign does. As we fill down, okay, these numbers here, like this number here, will increment. In other words, the next row it'll say E9, the next row it'll say E10, and it'll keep doing that. It will keep incrementing by 1 each row we go down. We want that. However, we also want to always look at this row right here and not increment it. Because if we did, we'd get an error when it hit nothing to this line here. We get an error here. And then we get a very wrong number when we got to this row here. Okay? So that dollar sign tells it, stay in this row. Stay in row 5. An absolute reference, absolutely stay on row 5. Now, we're not putting it before a B because, frankly, we're not filling sideways. You're only filling up and down, and it's just unnecessary. Enter. Okay, so this time we paid $34.50 in interest, or for the money we borrowed, and $402.76 went towards the balance. Okay, and so the reason we paid less in interest is because we actually have less money that we owe right here. Okay, now we're going to come to this cell right here. Equals, our new balance is going to be equal to the old balance minus the amount, the principal paid. There we go. Now we're going to select these two cells right here. Come on. There it went. And we're going to select those two cells right there. We're going to go to the autofill button, and we're just going to fill down. Okay. Come on. Now, this is what I meant by an error. They get this one wrong, okay, just to tell you. Now, they sort of try to fix it in theirs, but we can fix that easily. We're just going to come over here and click on our last payment we made. Instead of paying $437.26, we paid $437.23. Okay, so now the loan is gone, so dead, amortized. Okay, so we're done with that part there. Now we're going to go back to the book here for a moment. And yeah, it is the end of the day, and so I know I'm fumbling some of my words. Okay. Format cells. So you may not have already done this. You might have other numbers here. They may not be rounding out to dollars. We're going to go ahead here, and we're going to click on B8. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to hold the Shift key down and click on E21, and we're going to format these as dollars. Okay? Good. We're going to format this one as dollars. And they do say with 2 decimal places, okay, just to let you know. We resize the column there. Great. We put that in. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to select rows 1 through 7. So I'm going to click on the 1. I'm going to hold the Shift key down, Shift key, and click on the 7. I'm also going to come down here, and I'm going to hold the Control key and click on the 21. Okay. So what the Control key does is allows me to select non-adjacent, not next to each other, cells. Okay, so and these are just going to be bold. And when I do this right here, I'm going to type in the word total. Okay, center align. No, we're not going to center align those. What we're going to do here in row 7, these 4 right here, again, I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down right here. I'm just going to drag straight over to select all 4 of those cells, and I'm going to align those to the right. The reason we're aligning them right is because these are telling you what's in the column, and the columns contain money, and money is always right aligned, okay? You would have a hard time convincing me of one of the few things that is an always statement. Okay, what is next? Oh, the next part's easy. We're just going to come down here to print the total principal paid, and we're going to sum up the numbers in this column here. I think you already heard the word I'm going to use. I'm going to type in equals sum, S-U-M, open parenthesis. I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down on that cell right there, and I'm just going to pull down until I'm at cell C18. So now it says in that cell, C equals sum C8 colon C19. Close parenthesis, enter. There we go, $5,000. That's what we should have paid. Click on that $5,000 autofill button, go over one cell. And there we have the total amount of interest that will be paid. So you're going to be paying $247 for the convenience of borrowing that $5,000 and paying it back in a 12-month period. Okay, so far so good. We've got this part here done and looking right. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to step 10. We're going to be making our first chart. This one's actually going to be pretty simple, but you need to remember that little bit about the control key to select things that are not next to each other, that are non-adjacent. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to alpha 7, press and hold, and I'm going to select from alpha 7 to alpha 19. Now I'm going to press and hold the control key with my left hand, okay? And I'm going to come over here to Charlie 7, the word principal, press and hold the left mouse button down. I'm holding the left mouse button down. I am now in Delta 19. I release the mouse button. I release the control key. I've now selected these 3 sets of data, or 2 ranges, okay? A range, a group of selected adjacent cells. I've got 2 ranges selected. Now we're going to go ahead and finish making our chart. This is going to be really easy. Insert, chart. Now, this is the wrong kind of chart, not a problem. I'm going to take the little scroll bar over here. I'm going to go to the top, and where it says line chart, I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to find the very first column chart. Okay, there we go. The only other thing they want us to do here is to change, they want us to do 2 more things. They want us to get rid of this and to change the title, and we'll actually do both of those in the same place. Let's double-click on the title. Oops, double-click on the title. You notice it took us from the setup screen to the customized screen, and we're in chart and axes titles. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to rename the title here. We're renaming it 12-month loan amortization schedule. Now we can go ahead and change the title font to, that's good. And let's center that. Alignment, center align. The only other thing we're going to do is turn that title text black, okay? And there we go. Now, the other thing that was going on here is that word date. You see that. So where it says chart title, now I'm going to click on horizontal axis title. And you see where it says date. I'm just going to select that and backspace over it. That was it. That's all I did there. Okay, now I'm done setting up the chart. I'm going to close it with that X. Click on the chart where just like there. You see the 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots. Move to own sheet. Great. Now, what this is showing us is that as we pay off as the principal amount of the payment that goes towards the principal increases, the amount of it going towards the interest decreases. You could say the exact opposite, that as the amount of the payment that goes towards interest decreases, the amount of the payment that goes towards principal increases. So you can see we paid a lot right here, $37.50, compared to like right here where we paid $6.49 towards it, or here, if I can get over that, we paid $3.25 towards the interest, and correspondingly the principal, the amount of our payment that went towards principal increased too. And the reason is, going back to our, so I'm going to chart 5. I am just going to rename this chart real fast, okay? Chart 5, video. Okay. And again, the reason that happened, I'm just clicking somewhere. The reason that happened is as you go along, you're paying, or the month that interest is applied to, there's less money that you actually owe. So here, you're basically paying that 1 month's principal or interest towards $433, and it's going to be a smaller amount of interest paid. Still making the same payment though, and so a larger amount of it goes towards the principal. So that was your assignment. And so go ahead and make sure that you submit that assignment.